I bought a 2006 Toyota Avalon with 108,000 miles from the original owner. We're going to talk about the pros and cons, if there is such a thing, my general impressions of the car, and being the last car video I'm making for the year, I'm going to talk about all the cars that I sold this year. There's a lot of interesting stories, so stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike the Baldadonis, and I buy and sell cars as a hobby, and I bring you guys along with me showing the pros and cons of each vehicle that I buy. This 2006 Avalon I bought from the original owners. They're elderly folks. I live in the Boston area, so finding a rust-free car is sort of tough, but these people took very good care of the car. It was well maintained and it was garage. So it did have a few blemishes that you can see here in the pictures. And when I did buy the car, there was a annoying odor of mothballs. The car was driven pretty rarely. The past 4 years, I think it was about 7,000 miles, but they had mothballs stored in the garage, and therefore it transferred the stink into the car. And when I got home, I couldn't drive it. It was just a little too much for me. I get dizzy from that type of smell. So I had to air out the car. I put baking soda all over the carpets. I put coffee grounds. I put sliced apples. Sometimes that helps. So I try to do the all natural route before I do a chemical bomb. And that's what I end up doing. I end up putting a chemical bomb in that. And that took another week for it to clear out. And now it was more drivable. But that mothball smells, oof, no good. So anyways, it did have some blemishes, like I said. There's a few things that you have to look out for these cars, and that's starting with the oil cooler lines. These are very thin lines that unfortunately over some time they end up blowing the motor because there's not enough oil pressure to get into the engine. So if you look on Carfaxes or you talk to a few people that own these cars, they had to replace these engines under warranty. This does have the recall that was serviced, and also the accelerator pedal or the gas pedal would get sticky, and sometimes people got into accidents back then in 2006, 2007, and Toyota was blaming the carpets for getting stuck on the gas pedal, which we all know that's bullshit, right? So that was also a recall, and that was fixed as well. So there's a few things that the car does need mechanically. I want to take it to my friend's shop, Dave, at European Auto Solutions. So let's see what we have to do.
How we doing, guys? Dave here, European Auto Solutions in Hudson, New Hampshire. We got Mike back with another beautiful pickup. He just bought a 2006 Toyota Avalon. Just needed some basic work this time, so we went through all the suspension and replaced 4 struts all around with new springs and mounts, the whole 9. Got new stabilizer links up front with new brake pads and rotors. Also did the rear stab links with the struts. So this thing's pretty much ready to go now. Really nice ride, so it'll be coming up for sale shortly. So thanks for watching the video and stay tuned.
My overall impressions, it's pretty simple. It's a big, luxurious car. It's cheap to insure. You're not having that wow factor. So people want to be discreet, right? Some people want all the luxury. They want all the amenities that a luxury car has, but they don't want to buy a BMW. They don't want to buy a Lexus. They want to stay under the radar. You know what I mean? So this is a great car for that. It's huge. It's so roomy. You can fit like 5-6 people in it. With 270 horsepower, it's quick. It gets good gas mileage. You get the reliability of Toyota. You have to still maintain Toyotas. People get the idea that they don't have to do anything to a Toyota and they're gonna last 200,000-300,000 miles. No, you still have to do the regular maintenance. Besides that, they will last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 1 million miles, and it's been proven. So you're getting a great car. It's understated, but yet people know it's a quality car. It's very good looking, and it's just not that flashy. A lot of people like that. A lot of people don't want the flash. So that being understated is right where they want to be.
What's missing, bro?
All right, guys, let's have some fun. The cars that I sold this year, very interesting. Some of the characters that are on this list. I had some friends that I made, and then I threw one on the bus because it was a piece of shit. We're gonna get to that. So, I did buy 2 cars this time last year. So, the time I got the titles in, it was this year. 2002 Mini Cooper S. I went to Maine. I bought it from a young kid. He bought it with his dad when he was 15 years old. Had it for about 5 years. Rebuilt the whole car, the engine, clutch, everything. Had 182,000 miles. When I got it, it did have a crack in the bumper, but I sold it to a gentleman named Craig. He fixed the bumper, and he still texts me. He loves the car. So Craig, thank you very much. My Lexus SC430. I bought this car from a gentleman named Carlos. He is a YouTuber himself. He talks about inspiration, and we've been in touch ever since I bought the car. He's a fantastic guy, a sweetheart of a guy, super nice. But that car got sold to a gentleman in Winthrop, Mass. His name was Al. Living in the Boston area, tight streets. Unfortunately, the MBTA bus hit him just enough where it caused $9,000 worth of damage. The firewall had to be fixed, and I think he had the wheels refurbished and everything, but it was $9,000 in repairs. But Al loves the car, and Al, thank you very much. BMW X1. I've owned this car for over 6 years. It was time to sell it. I buy these cars. Why don't I just use these cars instead of having a car payment? I bought that car brand new, fairly new. I was the second owner. I bought it with 14,000 miles, but I bought it for like $36,000 way back in the day, and after refinancing, I'm done with car payments. So I sold that, and the new people, they love it. I haven't heard from them since, but they did enjoy it when I got in touch with them the last time. So guys, thank you very much. This goes hand in hand with that X1. So getting out of a car payment, I was going to do a video about get rid of a car payment, get into a car that you can pay cash for, and just do the maintenance and enjoy the car like a Toyota Corolla. So that's what I ended up buying. I bought a 2005 Toyota Corolla 5-speed with only 85,000 miles. Now, this video that I was going to do, it was so annoying in the car that I got frustrated and I got pissed off. So the father bought the car for his son. Now, I drove the car, I test drove the car, drove it around. the neighborhood, make sure the clutch was nice and all that stuff, and it was. Now, this was back in spring when there was a lot of pollen, and you can wash a car, the pollen would be right back. After buying the car, after 55 miles an hour, the car shook violently. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I called up the guy, I said, do you know anything about this? He's like, no, I just drove it to Boston. Now, he's in New Hampshire, way up by Dover, New Hampshire. So anything over 50 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour, you would shake violently. So I was pissed. My fault that I didn't take it for a longer test drive. So I took it to my friend's shop, we balanced the tires, took it for a ride, it helped a little bit. I ended up buying new tires, not the case. The aluminum wheels that came with the car were all bent, all four were bent. So I got all steel rims, put the new tires on that, the car rode way better after that. But I also had a wheel bearing issue that because it was original, it was frozen. It took almost 2.5 hours just to get the pot out. But when I was washing the car, I did notice that the car was painted. And it was awful. And you see the drips going down. Now, like I said, the car had a lot of pollen on it. And when I got home, I washed it. At first I can see a little bit. I'm like, yeah, not a big deal. And then when I really got into it, after seeing the car on the lift, I was totally pissed. So I didn't make the video because I would have thrown this guy under the bus, because that's what I do sometimes. I would throw him on the bus, make him look like a jerk. But, you know, what are you going to do? The car market was at a frenzy where you buy something and you're going to get a lot of money in return. I didn't make no money on that car because all the things I had to do to it. And I went to the new owner and I haven't heard from him since. So that was an aggravating car buy. What else here? BMW 540 M Sport package with a 6-speed. I had one of 167 in this 6-speed color combination. I bought it from a really good guy named Spencer. And after owning it for a little while, I did some work to it. And a gentleman from Florida flew up here, kind of sketchy, you know, putting the money into my bank account, and he just wanted to come up and drive it home. I'm like, what? So I met him up at the Manchester Boston airport in Manchester, New Hampshire. Drove all the way up there. He's got these glasses on, a hat, t-shirt, little shorts on, and I'm just like, this guy's kind of weird, you know? Like a little awkward when you talk to him. I said, do you want to drive this car to my house? And he's like, no. I was like, okay. So I drive it home. He spent about 3 hours packing up the car because I had a lot of spare parts, extra wheels. We actually had to go to FedEx, put a tire in a box and a wheel and tire combination. That cost him $70 to have it shipped. But he ended up driving it home. He actually went to New York, picked up another 530, had his friend meet him at the airport, picked up the car, and they both drove down to Florida. I guess they like the E39s. Let's see, BMW 330 I bought from the original owner named Steve. Super nice guy. He got involved with the video. That was really fun. Then he started up his own YouTube channel. Steve was a really nice guy. He bought that car when he first started to make it, you know, and he loved that car. That car was stored in a heated garage. That car was really nice. And that went to a really nice guy named Patrick, him and his young kids. So that's their new fun car. And Steve and Patrick, thank you very much. Next car, 2005 Mini Cooper S I bought from the original owner as well. His name was Jerry. He did a video with me as well. There was a few things that I had to go through. It wasn't a big deal. I did have a buyer that was interested. They actually bought my 1999 BMW M Roadster convertible about 4.5 years ago, almost 5 years ago. And it was time for them to look for another car. I put that in their head. And the wife, Diane, she's just a little tiny thing. She's adorable. And the car's mostly for her. So Diane, thank you very much. Mustang GT convertible, Cobra. Had 77,000 miles. I bought that from the second owner. He bought that with around 11,000 miles. Hardly used it, hardly even used it. I sold that to my friend, Miss Renee. And you know what? She doesn't drive it that much either. Let's see, Avalon. As you can tell, I got that Avalon. I'm doing the video about that as we speak, and the car already sold. The car sold 2 days ago before we even made the video. That went to Chris up in Maine. He took a ride 3 miles, 3 hours each way. Chris, thank you very much. Now, I also have a bunch of cars I was on consignment. People, all my friends will ask me to sell the cars. I make a little commission. You know, I do all the run around, I do all the ads, I talk to the people. I'm the one they deal with. So my friend that you see in my videos a lot, he wanted me to sell his Ford Ranger. Now this is interesting too. I sold him this Ford Ranger. Before we get to the next car, I'm sorry, I missed one car. My BMW 530 Xi. I bought that from a donate your car to charity scammer. I didn't know he was a scammer at first, but I had to do some research because he was really shady. He had all these cars in Massachusetts with all California license plates, a couple Florida plates. He lived in this big old style mansion, you know, wealthy neighborhood. And you could just tell he lied about everything. So there was a lot of red flags. I made a video about that. I'll post that. All these videos I'll post in the description so you can see that. But I busted him because I was able to contact the person that owned the car. I called that person in California. She said she just donated the car 3 weeks prior to me purchasing it. And the guy made a huge story saying that his secretary owned it when he lived in California. That was his car that he drove for like his driving office. If you had all this money, why would you have a 2006 BMW? You know what I mean? So I threw him under the bus. Authorities were involved, police, all that type of stuff. So watch that video. Oh, by the way, I sold that to a great guy named Chris. Thank you very much. So let's go back to the cars that I sold for my friends. Ford Ranger, 2-wheel drive, 5-speed. Up here in New Hampshire, not much of a truck to have for a daily driver, but when there's no snow, it ran perfect. It did have some rust on the frame. Now I had a gentleman come spend 45 minutes in my driveway on his back, looking underneath the truck, taking it for a ride. It rode really well. It drove great. And then I said, if you have any problems, I have mechanics that can help you out, because he was new to the area. And I said, no problem, I will take care of you. Anything I can do for you. So for $2,700, I think they sold the truck to him for, I think. He went and got registered, then he went to get inspected, and they failed him for the inspection because the radiator support, one side was rotted out. It's not really a big deal. You can just weld a piece. And then there were, on the back of the truck where the bed lies on the frame, there's some straps. And Fords are known for those to be rotted as well. Now I have the people that I can have all this stuff done to, and I was trying to help him out, but he was being such a dickhead. At first he was like, okay, thank you very much. And then when I was giving him prices, he was like, oh, I want money back. I was like, dude, you bought the truck. You were underneath this truck for 45 minutes. The person that I was selling the truck for, he said, give him back $500. I said, there you go, you got $500 back. That still didn't keep him happy. So I had to cut him off and tell him to go fuck himself, pretty much. But I didn't say it, I just blocked his phone number because he got a good deal and he still wanted money back. To find out, he went to one of my other friend's shops and had work done at a cheap cost. That's what he was bragging about. And so as far as I know, he's happy with the truck now. But at the time, you know, that was his fault for not letting me help him out as much as I could. He just was a pain in the ass. Anyways, what else? Jeep Liberty. My friend's girlfriend, or ex-girlfriend. I sold that real quick. That was easy. That was just a Jeep Liberty. Cadillac XTS, same person. This is my friend Jim that you see in these videos with the Camry and stuff. So he was having a car payment. He just wanted to get out of it. When you're in a certain price range of a vehicle, we were trying to get like $17,000 for it, $16,000. People want to trade their car in for a vehicle, mostly. They don't have good credit. They want to trade their car in. They need a bank loan. So most people won't buy a $17,000 car off of Craigslist, off a private owner. unless they already have the funds, you know, good credit or whatever. So that was a tough car to sell. The dealerships were relentless. They just kept calling me. So we went to one of the dealerships in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. We sold that. I made my little commission. Jim was happy, got out of his payment. And when he did that, I got him the 2002 Camry. So that's what I sold Jim. I sold him the 2002 Camry with, at the time, it had 224,000 miles. He loved it. He drove it for 8 months. He bought a small SUV so he could help his son with home improvements. And right now, I got the Toyota back, and I just had a gentleman today looking at the vehicle. So that car might be sold any day now. So at the moment, I have 0 cars that I own myself. So I sold 16 cars this year, 16 cars. And I want to thank everybody that watches my car videos. I know my channel's a little, you know, wish-washy because I do a lot of travel videos. When I started up the YouTube channel over 4 years ago, it was about my life experiences. I was going through a tough phase of my life. I had severe vertigo, dizziness, and suicidal thoughts from the medications the doctors gave me. I talk about being in prison in my early 20s. I got caught up. That's very easy to get involved with when you're desperate. I was 21 years old when I went to prison. I did 5 years and 3 months. When I came out, I did steroids. I talk about all that. For 5 years, I did steroids and all the health issues that go along with steroids. I had a heart attack and all kinds of other bullshit. I'm still paying the price for doing steroids. My body is killing me. I have surgery coming up in a bicep, and I might do a video about life after steroids. And that's what was keeping me busy. So for 5 years, almost 5 years of my life with the vertigo, I didn't do a lot. I couldn't get out of the house. So when I started feeling better, I started doing the travel videos. And that's why you see a lot of travel videos in my videos. So the cars, the traveling, health issues that people go through. I bring other people and we talk about the interesting life stories as well. So that's what my channel is all about. And maybe this year I might just try to get another channel and separate all that, but I don't really care. I really don't. I enjoy what I do. It keeps my mind active, and I like to inform people about cars, what to look for. And that's about it, making friends. And I want to thank everybody, like I said, for watching my videos. All right, guys, so Happy New Year 2022. We'll see what it brings me for cars this year. I'm hoping for a lot of eclectic style cars because I like all kinds of oddball cars. So until then, everybody, Baldadonis out.